Good day, Deepen Word family. Welcome to day 97 of our Bible study review. Today we are going through chapters 19 through 21 of 2 Samuel. Chapter 19 opens up and we see that King David is mourning over his son Absalom. This day of victory is turned into a day of mourning. And we see that his army commander Joab comes to him and rebukes him. An extremely strong rebuke. Joab tells David, "You have shamed your servants, those who have fought for you in the wilderness." He says to David, "You hate the ones who have loved you and been loyal to you, and you love the ones who have hated you." He speaks to David and he says, "If you don't go out and reassure your men right now," he says, "it'll be worse for you than all of your calamity since your youth up until now." So David concedes and he meets the people outside of the city gate. And now the scene flips back to the people in Jerusalem. So you have people who were loyal, waiting for David to return. And you had others who had turned their backs on David to swear their loyalty to Absalom, his son. But overall, all of Israel that is back in Jerusalem, they want King David to return. And King David sends a message through the priests telling them to speak to the elders on why they are hesitating. Why are they the last ones to invite the king back to his rightful place? He tells the elders through the message that you are my flesh and bone. We have made a covenant together. And then he extends the message to Amasa, whom Absalom made the army commander over Israel back in Jerusalem. And David tells Amasa, he says, "You will be my commander over Joab." The hearts of the people are swayed back to David, so yes, they send for him to return. And as King David is crossing back over the Jordan River, the tribesmen of Judah come to meet King David at Gilgal. And then Shimei, the same man who was cursing and throwing stones at David and all of his servants, he meets him there as well. And he asks King David for forgiveness. But Abishai, the brother of Joab, was ready to make an end of Shimei because he cursed the king at his lowest point and called him a man of blood. King David forgave this man. And then Mephibosheth came to meet the king, the cripple, Jonathan's son. And King David said, "Why have you not come with your servant?" And he said, "Ziba has spoken deceitfully of me. Ziba left me behind because I'm a cripple." In this chapter, it seems like everyone is trying to save face. Many turned their backs on King David. But now that he's returning to Jerusalem, they're trying to save their own precious butts. So as far as the testimony of Ziba and Mephibosheth, who knows the truth? Then we see further quarrels with the children of Israel versus the tribesmen of Judah. The other tribes of Israel claim that they were the first ones calling for King David to return. And the tribesmen of Judah are claiming that they have more shares in David because they're from the same tribe. We open up chapter 20 and we see that there is a Benjamite named Sheba. He gathers all of the tribes of Israel and he tells them, "We have no share in David." So the children of Israel go and follow this man. Then it says that David finally gets to Jerusalem. And when he gets back to his house, it says that he sets the 10 concubines whom Absalom, his son, has slept with. It says that he still cares for these women, but he never lays with them ever again. They're basically shut up and treated like widows for the rest of their lives. After this, David tells Amasa, whom he has called his new army commander, to gather all of the tribesmen of Judah. Then David speaks with Abishai, Joab's brother. And he tells him, "Gather all of the men. We are going after this man Sheba." Then it says that Amasa goes to meet the rest of the men to go to capture this man Sheba. And Amasa runs into Joab. Joab takes Amasa by the beard and he guts the man. Literally, it says his entrails fall out of his body and he's laying on the side of the road. After this, one of the men of Joab spoke to all of the men and said, "Whoever's for David and Joab, let's go find Sheba." But all of the men were standing still because they saw Amasa's body with his innards spilled out everywhere. So the man goes, takes up Amasa's body, and pushes him over the side. And they continue to go after this man Sheba. These chapters are so dramatic. So now all of the men are following in unity now to find this man Sheba. And they besiege this city and they build a rampart. And a woman from the city says, "Will you destroy an inheritance?" She's like, "Who are you looking for?" And she goes, "Guess what? We'll hand his head over to you, but do not harm the city." And y'all, that's how the chapter ends. The people of the town capture Sheba, behead him, and throw his head over the city gate. Those who say the Bible is boring are boring people. This is far from boring. What's even more crazy is that David assigned Amasa his new army commander. Now Joab is going to return back with the head of his enemy. But he's also going to tell him, "Oh, the man that you tried to give my job to, oh, he's dead too." This is absolutely crazy. Now we open up chapter 21 and we see that there is a famine in the land. King David has no idea what's up. So he goes to seek the face of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah tells him, there's a famine in the land because there's blood guilt in the land because of the hand of Saul. Do you see that? It's King David's era and reign, but the land is suffering because of the sin of the previous king. Now the Gibeonites were friends of Israel. If you need a refresher, go back to chapter 9 of Joshua. Joshua made a covenant with the Gibeonites. And guess who takes covenant serious? Yahuwah does. King Saul tried to exterminate the Gibeonites. And so King David summoned the people. And he asked them, what can I do for you? And they said, we don't want silver and we don't want gold. And he's like, well, what are you asking me for? They said, we want 7 sons of Saul. Hand them over to us. Then we'll call this thing even. So King David gives them exactly what they want, with the exception of Mephibosheth, because Mephibosheth is the son of Jonathan, and David made a covenant with Jonathan that he would always favor him and his sons. At the end of chapter 21, we see that there are more wars with the Philistines, and there are more giants, brothers of Goliath. The men of David take the giants down. And the men of Israel said, King David, you will no longer come out to war with us, lest the lamp of Israel be put out. They're like, no, sir, you can stay back in the palace now. You have done enough. Deep and Word family, that's enough drama for today. Until tomorrow, Yah bless.